Hello my lovely spectators, trying a few things different over the next couple of videos. You tell me what you like and what you don't. But this is Dee Dee and welcome to my studio. This part is sped up because I've done a video where I've kind of done how I harvest my covers, and basically we eat a lot of crunchy crunch. So I have like 20 to 25 covers that are completely ready to go. In other words, all of these edges are cut off, all the spines are reinforced with tape, yeah. This part here though is new because it is rather flimsy, but when you add the layering, cardstock, or whatever else you're going to put to make the actual cover, it does strengthen it a bit. But I just wanted to straighten the edge and try this out this time. So I don't know if you're gonna like these kind of videos. I'm thinking of doing every now and then just making a cover. And this cover is just fun. I happened to be in the dollar store and I found an item that I thought was so cute. I'll show you in a few. And so, you know, sometimes I wonder, and you can answer this in the comments, do you guys start out with the idea of what theme you want to make, and then you do the signatures and then the cover, or do you start with the cover and then you put the signatures inside? I'm kind of like doing the covers first. I have an idea and I make the cover to represent that idea, the initial, because I'm going to decorate the cover eventually, and then I'll do some generic papers, junk journal style, of course, the different coffee dyed, etc., etc., and then I'll wind up putting them into whatever number of signatures. So the Crunchy Munch seem to be leading themselves to either 2 to 3. 1, even though I made a template in another video, 1 is just not, I don't think it looks right. You know, for it to have a few pages wouldn't look right. For it to have a lot of pages, it doesn't look awkward. Anyway, I'm wrapping up prepping this in a minute, so I'm gonna be trying to decide what kind of duct tape. This is dollar store duct tape. This is not the super thick kind, so this is, you know, just me prepping the spine to add a little bit more if I do a sew-in. Okay, so now we're gonna get to regular time, and yes, the music is gone, so you can tell me how that was. I don't know if it was super loud to you. I am going to play it back, and hopefully, if it doesn't sound too bad, I'm going to try posting it because I do want your feedback. Anyhow, so once this is posted, I'm going to show you what it is that I'm bringing to the table, why I decided to make the video, and you're going to see me try to figure out how to do it. So, fabric is one thing, faux fur is a whole other thing. This was such a cute little find. I hadn't seen this in the Dollar Tree at all. Like, really, I've bought little rounded, you know, those little round quarters, I don't even know if they're quarters, over at the dollar store, of different regular fabrics, but I hadn't seen any faux fur. So right now I'm just trying to figure out how to fit this, because unfortunately the rolled ones are a little longer, a little bigger. This faux fur is not that big. It's only like 9 inches by 12. So I'm going to have to kind of cover each side and a different one in the spine, which I think I was, and actually happened to be a really good happy accident. So let me go back to what you're seeing here. I needed to figure out what was going to coordinate for me to put on the inside cover with this brown fur that I was deciding to use. So the Crunchy Munch, generally speaking, is about 6 by like 9. I did cut it down just a little bit because I had a little snafu when I was cutting off the tabs. So that's fine. Doesn't, you know, it's not going to hurt us. Actually worked out because the fabric is only 9 and I needed to roll it over, which you're going to see in a moment. So I'm figuring out if this is going to fit, how much I'm going to need. So it doesn't cover the spine on the interior, which is fine. I'm going to cover that with something different. So I'll have another texture in terms of visual texture. I know we say texture when we talk about different prints and stuff like that, but you know, an actual, you know, physical feeling, it's not the same. Anyway, so I'm adjusting all of the different measurements so that I can get the panel to fit on there perfectly. Because I don't want to have any little gaps, and I'm trying to make this look as profesh as possible. Again, so far these journals have strictly been for me to have fun, for me to learn, and you know, I love making content, I love trying things, so I figured, you know what, let's record these processes as well. Kind of been focused mostly on these junk journals, and I'm like wondering, would you want to watch card videos, or would you want to watch me putting together scrapbook pages? So you can answer down below and let me know. Otherwise, you know, I think there's enough stuff going on that where the hell did I go? This video seems to have pause. Give me a moment, because shock and awe. Nothing in my system works correctly. Anyway, back to, I was yammering and a lot of stuff was happening. So I made sure that the inside fit, and I'm putting that down first because, like I said, the fur has to roll over it. So I noticed that I showed you that I had scored this little edge to finish off the edge so that I could line up the fur on the outside with that and not have the crunch and munch be shown. The other find from the dollar store was the Eileen's, what is it called? Let me look at it. It's in front of me here. Premier Quality DIY Craft. It's industrial strength glue stick, permanent low odor, low residue. So I decided to try this because I figured that why not? If it's super duper like strong, I wanted to see how it handled. It comes out very thick and viscous. You can actually see it. It does have that yellow orangey tinge to it. It does have an odor. It is low. It's nothing that's overly offensive, but there is an odor there. And in terms of no residue, I guess, I'm not sure. Like I was being very careful not to get stuff all over the place and not to get it past the actual paper. So can't really comment to that. But I will say that so far it felt like it grabbed pretty decently, even on this like slick page, which the Crunch and Munch has that glossy page. So so I'm just cleaning up the edges because it went a little past the height. I gave myself that out because I know it was going to roll over, but I was like, I'll just, you know, clean it up at the end. So now we have the interior is kind of done. And so I'm going to look at working on the exterior. And so I'm not going to use this adhesive for the exterior. I'm actually going to wind up using double-sided tape. Now, the reason being that I know that Natasha Treasure Books was talking about that, and it's made me very fearful of using double-sided tape. Oh, look at the screen. Oh, look, those were all the colors that they had. So they had the light brown, they had a dark brown, black, gray, and white. So I'm kind of looking at them all. I'm just, you know, showing you kind of the name of it. And then I decided to change up the colors, which you'll see in a minute, because I had originally had the dark one out. But as I was saying with Natasha, you know, she's an anti double-sided tape, and I was always a go-to double-sided tape. I don't know if things that I've given to family and friends have fallen apart. I maybe should ask them. But if they have, they've been so nice as to not tell me that they have. So that said, you know, that's the reason. But again, this being that it won't leak through, which is the thing that Natasha was saying, she shows us that journal that has that like seepage of some kind of adhesive eating through. Since this is fabric and it's fur and it's for fun, I figure why not? Just make it easier, because I was like, how am I going to attach this? I know Fabri-Tac is the big one, and I literally have a box of Fabri-Tac bottles sitting next to me, but I have yet to crack it out and use it. So there's that. Anyway, I'm here going to try to cut the fur. Now, if you've ever cut fur, OMG, the amount of little fuzzies that happen, So I took the painting shears only because I thought maybe it would be helpful. I don't know. I don't know if it mattered because I felt like I was plucking at fur off the edges, not only on the edge that I cut, but on the edge from, when I see what I'm doing there, trying to get the fuzzies off, because I know I'm using the double-sided tape and I don't want to get fuzzies on the tape and then it becomes less sticky. And so my brain is like working on overdrive, like trying to get these fuzzies off. And I'm off to the side, like shaking, shaking it, shake it, like crazy, because I'm trying to get the fuzzies away from the work area. So it was a bit much. So I will warn you that, when you cut fabric that has the fur, you are going to get a lot of this going on. So I think that what I might do in the future, because I do have the other colors and I do want to use them, like oh my god, is to maybe get a lint roller, so that I can kind of like really, once I see what I'm doing here, they just keep coming. They're like what do you call it, the tribbles? If you're a Star Trek, but the tribbles are coming. So they're like little tribbles. So yeah, so I would get like a lint roller maybe to kind of help me to really make sure that the area was clean. Not so much that it got anywhere in the process that's going to be happening with it. It's just that it would have just eased my brain a little bit, and it would have been maybe a little quicker, because this is real time. No, actually, no, this is still sped up by 1.5. The other making of the cover was at 3. So yeah, voiceovers, music in the beginning, different things like that, speeding up, all things I'm trying. Sometimes I think like I want to, just record and whatever, and it's fine, and I do that. But here's the problem. I want to make sure that I'm trying to throw as much content as possible, and editing or not editing, it still seems to be taking. Sometimes the YouTube takes forever to load up on my desktop, longer than it takes on my phone, so I'm all over the place. But the editing is something that I've been wanting to practice, so you know what, why not? But then it means sitting down for quite a moment. All right, here I am. I'm kind of ready now to adhere this this fuzzy fabric to the cover. So now, does anybody have a guess as to what focus this journal is going to be about? I don't know. What do you think? So it's brown fuzzy. I am going to put another fuzzy column, another fuzzy aspect on the column, the collar, probably the darker brown. So I'm going to have these two brown colors. What does that make you think of? You can pause and put it in the comments. No, I'm just kidding. I know I asked for like 3 things in the comments, right? We like the engagement. We like to hear a little something from the people who are watching our videos. So anyway, what I was thinking of is, I know the first go-to was like, oh, cats or dogs, whatever, strict up. This makes me think Labrador Retriever. I don't have dogs. I don't have cats. I have tarantulas. So, I'm not a regular pet person because I do get allergies. But I was thinking just in general, like an animal-based journal. Just featuring different animals of nature. The gorilla, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to kind of focus on just like nature, nature animals, right? Animals in nature, something like that. So I don't know, I'll do the same signatures that I normally do, bringing in all those junk journaling type of pages. And then as I decorate and find ephemera and make ephemera, I'll bring out that aspect. So what do you guys think of that? Anyway, yeah, so, just something funny, something fun to do. I wanted to kind of think of a series, like, or like what like some of these ladies have out there, with their, what is it, Gail Augustine, at least she has, Forgotten Friends Friday. She's got something she does on Monday where she goes into the to-do box. And I was being funny, not in a bad way, when I made some of the titles earlier this week because I'm like, but that's something that you can do all the time. So I'm only just, you know, just want to have fun. I want to enjoy. I want to have titles that are not just clickbait, but that actually will, you know, kind of give you an insight to what it is and maybe entice you to come and hopefully be inspired or have a laugh. So back to the video. Put the double-sided tape down, and I'm like pushing it and making sure it lays nice and flat. It does not reach the spine, and for some reason, even though I tried to measure it in half, it is not even on both sides. But that's okay. I'll just make the one. See, it's very close to one side more than the other, which is fine. So now I'm going to tackle the inside. So you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to do anything outside of just gluing that up. So I'm going to put some more double-sided tape and attach those. But prior to that, I want to put the center, because once the fuzzy is up, there's no going back. Like, I can't put other things behind the fuzz. So I need to find a paper that is going to kind of coordinate it. So this happens to be a paper pad from, where is it? I'll tell you right now. I have it in front of me. It is a Paper Source Studio. It's cardstock, and it's from, of course, Paper Studios Hobby Lobby. Is the Dal Multi. So it's a really interesting paper. It doesn't have, it has very much grayish brown undertones, and it has several different designs. So a lot of things like covers and like bases for things that I needed to have like a little vintagey, I kind of use. So I'm just, you know, auditioning, right? I hear a lot of YouTubers that are crafting, auditioning the different papers up against the others. You know, usually I just, you know, if you've seen any of my other cluster videos, I just pick a few things and say, I'm gonna make it work. I just felt like, excuse me, I wanted to make sure that there was the symmetry of balance on the spine. So I went back and forth trying to find, because I have used quite a bit of this, try to find something that was gonna, you know, fit the space, but also like the brown and then the light brown. So back and forth, and I finally did wind up settling on, I think it's called the Houndstooth, I want to say. I'm not 100% sure, so it's gonna be coming up. I always make the joke, I go like this with my arms and I create a little square in a box on this camera, but that's literally the amount of space that I have to work in. So yes, and the camera is right there at my head, right at my face practically. I sometimes have to look beyond it to see what I'm doing. I could have probably raised this up a little bit, and now that I'm looking at it, I was like, yeah, that might have been helpful. So I do apologize on that. So yeah, I'm just trying to get a little over past where the other paper is, and so that I can get some good adhesion there and make sure that that thing stay, you know, kind of simple. So I just, you know, marked it there with the ruler, and then I'm going to do it like official with the trimmer. You'll see that I put some adhesive strips on the center and off to the side of the curves. So a lot of what I've been learning about like the spines and having flexibility when you are folding it, you don't want to put like too much rigidity on the actual bends, because that's going to just make things like super duper hard for you to deal with. So again, I just put the double-sided tape, and I'm having a nice time trying to get it off here. But I put the double-sided tape in 3 spots so that there's still a little bit of movement, right? And then you see me here making sure that I can get that crease moving before I finalize my gluing. I didn't ink anything at this point in time. I don't know if it's going to be a big inking. If I ink, I might want to ink with like something green, just because it's supposed to be like a nature. But again, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll specifically dye some papers with some hues of green. I've been trying to dye a bunch of different things. Here I am just trimming up the little overflow, because, you know, we want to make sure that it's right there. So we cut a little past it, and then we clean it up. So I'm almost getting to the point where I'm kind of done. So here you can see the edges, right? So I can see the paper that folds over. Oh, I have a frog. Oh, excuse me. I can't stop the video again to do anything. And here I am adding some glitter. Not, is this art glitter glue? I don't even know. I have like about 4 or 5 different glue situations I use. I'm starting to use some wood glue. I have my art glitter glue. I have Eileen's tacky, clear, and the regular one. I also have regular PBA and Tombow. I have a whole little setup that I got from the dollar store. Maybe one of these days I'll bring it out on a video so you can see. And then all my glue sticks are just like thrown everywhere. So I'm putting some double-sided tape down to see how this is going to hold over the curve. Now I do see that one side is a little longer than the other, and thankfully it's the same on both the left and the right side of the spine. So I'm going to be able to pick a side that's going to be the top and the bottom and keep that consistent. So, you know, that hasn't been decided yet. But yeah, so we're going to finish doing the cover, and then I'm not going to do the back spine because I'm going to need to sew the signatures in. Then after I've sewn the signatures in, I'm going to put the final piece of fluffy stuff. And I'm not sure if I'm going to overlap it or I'm going to try to fit it in there perfect. So we'll see how that goes. If you want to see the signatures being put together and sewn in and how we finalize the spine, let me know. I can put that on for a video and try to get that recorded as well for you. I'm not going to do Midori. I think I want Midori being the elastic or the string binding so that you could take pages out. I think I'm going to do a regular pamphlet stitch, probably a 3 pamphlet, which if you've been junk journaling and watching channels for forever, you already know how that works. So yeah, so I'm just pressing this down, making sure it has good adhesion, and then I'm taking it up and I'm pulling on the fur as much as I can, not creating crazy like tautness, but you know, nice, and then pressing it down, and then I'm looking at the edge, and yes, there are still fuzzies. But I'll deal with it. So yeah, so here we go with the almost finishing. I'm on the, you know, the bottom or the top, depends on what happens. Just pushing it up nice and really pressing it and going back and forth. It's looking cute. It looks like it should be for like a dog. It does. But I'm just gonna, like I said, general animals. I might just keep it mammals, like furry critters and stuff, and then maybe, you know, another one on aviary and also on aquatic. You know, it gives me more reasons to do journals, journal covers. Just trimming up that I put the double-sided tape a little too long, praying that I don't rift up the paper, and I got lucky and I didn't, thank God, because I would have been so upset if I would have messed it up at this point. But anyway, so this is rounding up to be the end. I see it on the screen, and I also can tell because I stopped after this. But yeah, so this is my little fuzzy cover. This is how I did it. And you kind of know what my intention is. So let's take a quick look. There's the one side, it's cute. The other side, inside, back has to be done. But yeah, anyway, thank you for watching, and I will, you know, see you next time. Bye.